the Pocono zone, not the Bodine Triangle.
That's right.
But you can't let your emotions override what you need to do here. I mean, you start doing all that stuff, these straightaways, it hurts the aerodynamics of these race cars.
Beating the fenders off of them, no good.
Let's catch up with a road racer, Robbie Gordon, and get an idea how he's got a lot of road race experience, a lot of IMSA and off-road experience, and see how he drives this track, Darrell.
Yeah, he just shifted, going down the front here, heading off into turn 1. Puts it up in 3rd gear, which that's your 1-to-1 gear. Now, that'd be your lowest ratio. Come off that corner in 3rd gear, which whatever gear you have in the rear, that's what you're coming off there with, 375 to 89. Now, you're going to go to high gear. That's overdrive. That can be a .92 or a .96. Come down the back. Now, you go into the tunnel, back up to 3rd gear or your 1-to-1 gear because you're going to get a good acceleration across the short chute here. That's the advantage of shifting there. Gives you the gear you really want to really maximize your speed across there. Now, that's a guy that doesn't mind shifting. I don't like all that shifting. I don't think it's necessary, and I think it just is opening the door for things to happen.
Now, here's Kenny Schrader, who comes out of the open-wheel ranks. His direct drive cars, or the open-wheel cars he drove, didn't even have a gear shift.
He's in 3rd gear, or basically that's high gear. Now, he's in overdrive.
And he shifted about the same place that Robbie Gordon did on the front stretch.
The start-finish line is where you usually, that's your reference point. Now, he gets all the way in the corner. Remember what I said, I don't like to let go? He doesn't either. Went all the way into the corner, got in the middle of the corner, shifted up into his lowest gear. It's the 3rd gear position, but with an overdrive, it's actually in high gear. And when he pulled back, now he's not going to shift all the way down the back like Robbie Gordon did.
The important thing is that Schrader's shifting down in the middle of the corner where he's ready to get off the gas. Robbie Gordon's shifting at the entrance to the corner, road race style.
Yeah, and if you watch open wheel racing, Indy cars and other cars, I mean, on an oval, they'll shift gear 2 or 3 times down the straightaway to maximize their speed.
Our leader, Ryan Newman, he's done pulled out to almost a 3.5-second lead over 2nd place Ricky Craven.
Check with Steve Burns.
And we've caught up with Matt Pearl and the crew chief. Now, Matt, I could have sworn I heard you say no adjustments to that race car on that last stop. It must really be good.
Yeah, he feels pretty happy right now. He's running real good. The Sony Alto crew, I mean, they did a great job on the pit stop, and he's real happy. And hopefully we can stay in the lead here for a while.
Thanks, Matt. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Well, Steve, back and forth. Jeff Gordon on his first pit stop. Robbie Loomis called for a wedge adjustment. They made an air pressure adjustment, and they pulled 1 inch of tape off the grill. He was loose, but Gordon said it was manageable. On lap 48, he radioed in. He said the car was so good before off of turn 3. Now it's so darn loose, it's unbelievable. Loomis responded, "We know what to do on our next stop." He runs in 5th, trying to chase his 4th career win here at Pocono.
Dale Jarrett has crept up on Ricky Craven. This is 2nd place.
Both cars have the same engine package. Yates in the 32, and certainly Yates under the hood of the 88. I think that Ricky probably saw that Dale was a little faster and let him make the pass.
So the veterans moving to the front. Here's another one. Bill Elliott in 6th place, challenging Jimmy Johnson.
This is kind of like that horse race yesterday. Got that one guy out there that's setting a really fast pace. Don't want to suck these veterans into that. So they're letting him kind of go on. He's out there by himself. I don't think anybody's really worried about him at this point.
And he was good in practice yesterday. He didn't run that fast lap, but his car was good on the long run.
52 laps, 130 miles. We've got to race 500 today. Long way to go.
I tell you, I noticed, you see Jeff Gordon talk about being loose. He looks like he's tight, but the problem is he can't turn the steering wheel. The rear end will want to come around with him.
When your car's loose, you just can't be aggressive. You can't drive it off in the corner. If you miss your mark with a loose race car, you'll wreck. You miss your car with a tight race car, you just slow down a little bit. So you got to really be tentative when you got a loose car. And particularly when somebody gets up under that back bumper. Makes it even worse. See there, he just pulled over and says, "Get off the back, get away from me."
And does. Elliott moves up to 5th. Johnson now 6th, Andretti 7th, Ken's at 8th, Jeff Burton 9th. Never gets who's crept into the top 10 from 43rd at the green flag, Ricky Rudd.
Because that caution fell at a good time for Ricky, too. I mean, it allowed him to make up even some more distance on the leaders. Good pit stop, and here he is, top 10.
Dick Berggren.
As a result of changing an engine, Ricky Rudd was all the way in the back of the pack at the green flag. That's a rule change. The motor start in the back, but he has gone forward all day long. Early problems with overheating. On that pit stop, they pulled a piece of tape off the grill. That helped the overheating problem, but Rudd's engine still running hot as he continues to motor forward toward the front. Mike?
He's up to 10th place, the defending champion of the Pocono 500. Ricky Rudd.
Well, it's hot here today. I mean, the ambient temperature, Larry, is way up there, as you will know, because I know you're monitoring that.
Much warmer than yesterday.
I'm looking at the grill of that 28 car, and they've got a lot of tape on that car.
Even after pulling some tape
Even after taking some off. So I think they're going to have some work to do. And here's a guy that's got some work to do. This 40 car is backing up big time. He's all the way back to 22nd place. Schrader and Sterling have been having a pretty good go of it, but they're not making much headway.
Schrader just got in the spot from Sterling, who's trying to get it back. Got Steve Park in tow right behind him.
Well, that's the way this track is. Schrader's real good in one end of the track. Sterling's real good on the other end. So they just race each other back and forth.
And you know, Darrell, it's like the last 2 or 3 weeks. These guys still been having good finishes, but they have not been as strong. Sterling Martin in the 40 cars they were in the beginning. This is the same car he won Las Vegas and Darlington with. He actually tested up here as Steve Park, and the one's going to go underneath.
And I've been here, done that. Your points racing. You start letting that dictate how you race. Instead of going out there and trying to win races, they got a pretty good little lead here, and they're trying to settle it.
How many times have we seen it? Teams in the stretch run will do anything, including get a car from a whole different team to try to win a championship.
Saw that happen one time, didn't we?
Yeah. Ryan Newman is our leader. He's 4.5 seconds up on Dale Jarrett. Ricky Craven is third as 3 Fords lead the Pocono 500.
And welcome back live. Quick recap. We're more than a quarter of the way through. Jeff Gordon passing points leader Sterling Marlin for the lead on lap 3. Ricky Rudd started from 43rd, moved up inside the top 10. Jeff Green with a brake tire problem. Joe Nemechek wrecking in turn 3 on lap 31. Kurt Busch scraping the wall and having some problems after that. And Ryan Newman taking the lead on lap 41. Jeff Hammond, in his last 7 races, Ryan Newman has had 4 DNFs. He did not finish. Should that be an issue here, especially with 500 miles?
Absolutely. You got to really be worried about kind of taking care of your equipment. This is a long race. It's very hard on the valve train and a lot of other parts in your race car. So, you know, running this hard early on could be bad news for him. He's probably having problems. So, hopefully he'll slow the pace down and be around at the end.
He's led 19 of the 59 laps. Our Subway race summary, and we showed you some of that. 5 leaders, 4 different lead changes.
We have trouble,
and we have
already.
With the 12, just as you were talking, Jeff. Let's head upstairs. Steve Burns has more. Steve?
Well, Chris, we just heard Ryan Newman radio to the crew that he has no fuel pressure. The crew's getting ready to service him when he gets to pit road. No fuel pressure for the leader, Ryan Newman.
He was in just 26 laps ago. So it's hard to think that he'd be out of fuel. Yeah, I think. But it's Darrell, he ran out, if he ran out, on the Long Pond Straight, so he's got to go more than 1.5 miles to get to pit road.
I think he'll probably find out he's got bigger problems unless there's something wrong with the fuel cell pickup. The way he was driving that car and as hard as he was running at this point of the race, this does not surprise me if it's mechanical.
Yeah, I just don't see how he could be out of fuel. He'd have to have a major pickup problem, but the bad thing about it, you run out of fuel here, anywhere, have a problem anywhere over on the Long Pond Straight, it takes forever to get to pit road.
Yeah, you saw he took both access roads over at the tunnel and then here in turns 3 as well to get to pit road.
Dale Jarrett, who's gone 30 races without a win, Loudon last July, has 2 top 5s this year, Martinsville and last week at Dover, and he's the new leader. Back to Steve.
And Mike, the car was not under power when Ryan Newman got in here. They're going to go ahead and put right side tires on. 1 can of gas in. They do get the engine refired for Ryan Newman. 2nd can of fuel getting in. And he is away.
Boy, that's a hard one to figure out there, Larry. I mean, the only thing I can think of is they just didn't get the car full of fuel when they pitted it.
I mean, that would be the only thing, because, again, it's only about 27 or 28 laps, and everybody could at least go 34 or 35 that I talked to this morning.
Kurt Busch is back on track after spending time behind the pit wall. Same with Jeff Green, only 3 cars out of this race, Nemechek, Long, and Kimmel.
And what happens in the fuel cell, the pickup is at the right rear corner, and we're hearing that Ryan Newman's not running again, so he's got more problems than fuel. Steve Burns.
Yeah, Larry Mack, he just radioed into Matt Borland. He said, it has died again. I can't get it restarted.
And this time it happened in turn one, and he will not make it around.
No, the only thing he can do now is he needs to.
Well, it's running.
Breaking up real bad.
Bring it in here, Harold. Do you want him in the garage or back behind the wall?
Darrell, Larry, I'm wondering, it's a really hot day. I'm wondering if they're having a problem with the fuel getting too hot coming up close to the fuel pump, the fuel vaporizing, and all, you know, kind of like when the car will not run.
Well, it's a chance, Jeff, but, you know, it just happened all of a sudden like that, and he's been running really well. I got to believe they got something really they can't figure out what's wrong with it just yet, obviously, but I think it'll turn out to be, yeah,
well,
like a fuel pump.
Maybe, okay, if it's not that, then you also could be losing maybe a lobe off of the cam that helps to actually make the fuel pump work.
Yeah, I think it's something mechanical.
Yeah, because it's what drives the fuel pump is a rod that comes off of one of the lobes off the camshaft.
Oh, we got a fuel pump on the truck. Yes.
You got to change the fuel pump. That is a major job.
It's not going to be easy.
You took that to your local dealer. Here's a 43 car back on pit road as well. You took it to your local dealer to get that done. It'd take 3 days.
Darrell, John Andretti being on pit road, he was on a 30-lap cycle, so this is about when we'd expect him.
Based on that, these guys aren't going very far on a tank of fuel today, Larry. And again, all that shifting, it works the motors harder, and the harder you work them, the more fuel they're going to use.
And that's 32 laps since John Andretti was on pit road.
Comes some other cars, the 4 car and others.
Brett Bodine is in as green flag pit stops. The first full round of them begin here at Pocono with 63 laps completed.
Mike Skinner in the 4 car, they ran out of fuel last week at Dover. They're probably a little gun shy.
Yeah, they had that little apparatus there that they, the ether on the stick.
They didn't want to have to use it again here today.
I told Jeff, I said, that's a great idea, but it tells me one thing. They must run out of fuel a lot.
Well, they've got it out there for Mike Skinner to get him restarted, and he's away. His pit stop complete. 3 of the top 10 cars are on pit road. Dick Bertrand.
Jimmy Johnson pits out of second position. They've got the wrench in the back of the car. He's a little bit loose when he's on the gas. Water temperature 220. That's not really a problem. A 4-tire routine change for Johnson. He's all done.
Matt Kenseth in and out. Kyle Petty in. Jeff Gordon is in, along with Hermie Sadler, Bobby Hamilton, and Kevin Harvick. Matt?
Mike MC Letarte makes both a wedge and track bar adjustment on the right side of the car, a 4-tire change. Gordon said he had 0 drive off when he tried to get back in the throttle. The car was just so loose. He's good to go.
These are pretty much all scheduled pit stops. Again, all the leaders on pit road about lap 32. There you see Kevin Harvick, the 29 car. He moved up into the top 20.
Ricky Rudd coming in. As these cars exit, Rudd from 43rd all the way to 6th place. A couple of those inherited, but he raced his way up to 9th, picked up 3 more on pit stops, and there he is in front of Dick.
Now, Ricky Rudd is in so far. I don't see any activity at the nose of the car to pull any more tape off. A lot of dust flying off the right front tire. Rudd obviously using his brakes very heavily.
Mayfield, Park, Benson in along with Strickland, and here's Rusty Wallace.
A lot of trouble on the right rear tire. This is going to be a real lengthy stop for the 2 Burns.
The reason they're having trouble is they pulled the spring rubber out of the right rear. It took them a few minutes laying there on the track, right, or on the pit lane, right by his pit stall. I saw him pull that rubber out and throw it on the ground.